Why don't you tell us where we are and what it is you think that we're going to talk about today?
We're in East London and we are going to talk about football violence.
There was a time when football hooliganism was everywhere.
Well, unfortunately, as I'm sure you've seen, it wasn't the football at Stamford Bridge which featured on the sports pages today. It was the scenes before, during and after involving hooligans.
For decades, it dominated headlines, uniting the front page and the back, merging the two things England loves most, football and fear.
All we're going for is a good game of football, a good punch up and a good piss up.
People would have assumed it had gone away, and also a lot of it was away from the stadiums because the police were so hot on wrapping up firms. They would give them an escort so they couldn't get into any trouble. Police invested a lot of money in doing that to try and stamp it out.
But that's not the full story. The terraces were once a stage for something larger, a battleground, not just for your club, but for identity, for belonging. And the fight didn't end when the mobs broke up, when police and CCTV moved in, or when capitalism hosed down the people's game.
Voids happen and nature fills a void. I think props hooliganism, especially in the sort of 70s and 80s, it wasn't apolitical at all. It was extremely political.
And as football and the world around it evolved, something deeper and darker lingered behind it. This sprawling subculture that had sent tens of thousands of men into the streets to fight for a feeling they could find nowhere else, that changed the way we see football and the way football sees and sells itself. It adapted. Hooliganism's legacy is not as dead as they'd have you believe.
Men are just weird. There's something that happens between the ages of 16 and 22 when the male species is really dangerous.
There's always more beneath the surface. This series isn't just about old headlines or lads looking for a scrap. It's about class, politics, and the identities people cling to when everything else feels like it's slipping away.
We look at middle class guys, they're born in with richness and wealth and money and mixing, they turn out that way. But we're not. We're born in different fires. We answer to a different fucking God. And that God has got a broken nose and a fucking black eye.
I'm Sam Diss, and from Stak, this is Season 2 of Legacy, the English Disease. A story that both is and is not about football. This is about the ghosts of our past, the cracks in our present, and the myths we keep telling ourselves about the future. Episodes 1 and 2 available the 1st of October, with a new episode every Tuesday for the following 4 weeks. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe now.